After hitting the $5 million jackpot, I planned to leave every cent to my son, Caleb Dawson. But sitting inside the notary office, I suddenly hesitated. My wife, Zoe Watts, looked at me in utter confusion. Caleb passed the test, so why are you hesitating? A few days ago, I found a lottery ticket on the street worth $5 million. Zoe was ecstatic. She immediately wanted to call our kids, but I stopped her. We can't just hand over $5 million. Tell them I'm terminally ill. Whoever steps up to pay for my treatment gets the money. Our kids have always been good to us, so Zoe accused me of overthinking things. But our daughter, Jada Dawson's, reaction completely blindsided us. She lives in a mansion and drives a luxury car. Yet she only handed me $200, told me not to bother her, and ordered me to get out. Meanwhile, Caleb has just graduated and doesn't even have a job yet. Still, he gave me all $3,000 he saved up over the years. Without any hesitation, Zoe and I decided to leave the entire $5 million to Caleb. But now, I have changed my mind. Sir, I want to leave everything to my daughter, Zoe snapped. Henry Dawson, have you lost your mind? I shook my head. My mind is perfectly clear. Mom came to me in a dream last night. My late mother had been a renowned psychic in our village, and she'd appeared in our dreams twice since passing. The first time, she warned me not to leave the house. I listened, and the next day, the bus I was supposed to take plunged off a cliff, leaving no survivors. The second time, she told us to move overnight. We didn't hesitate, and the next morning, a landslide wiped out the village. This third time, she insisted I leave all $5 million to our eldest daughter, Jada Dawson. Ignoring her, the first two times, meant certain death. If I ignored her this time, I couldn't help but feel that something terrible would happen. Zoe looked torn. Your mom's dreams are never wrong, but Jada is such an ungrateful brat. If we give her everything, it'll break Caleb's heart. Gritting my teeth, I pulled my ID back. Sorry, we need to think about it. Right as I dragged Zoe out, Caleb texted me. Dad, I found a part-time job that pays pretty well. Just focus on getting better, okay? Then he sent me a money transfer for exactly $190.35. Zoe's eyes welled with tears, down to the last cent. The poor kid probably cleaned out his account for us. As I stood there agonizing, a message flashed from Jada. Dad, you're terminally ill anyway, so you won't be around much longer. When are you splitting the inheritance? Zoe started shaking with rage. Forget your mother's dream. Even if we donate every last dime, we aren't giving this ingrate a single cent. I exhaled sharply. Mom wouldn't appear in my dream without a reason. There has to be more to the story. I shoved my phone into my pocket. Come on, let's go to Jada's place. Jada had married the richest man in town, Nathan Stewart. After a 2-hour bus ride, we reached the main gates of their neighborhood, only to be stopped by the security guard. After a quick call, the guard's expression soured. Go back to that town. Ms. Dawson said she doesn't even know you. Flushed with embarrassment, I called Jada myself. Several tries, all went straight to voicemail. Passers-by began to point and stare. Drenched in humiliation, Zoe pulled at my arm to leave, but as we turned around, we ran right into Nathan. He looked genuinely shocked and jogged over. Mom, Dad, what are you doing here? Come on inside. Nathan's warmth caught both Zoe and me off guard. Could Mom's insistence on leaving the money to Jada have something to do with Nathan? At the villa, Jada opened the door, smiling, but the moment she saw us, her expression hardened. Dad, aren't you terminally ill? Why are you at my house instead of waiting to die in a hospital? Nathan snapped. Jada, they're your parents. How can you talk to them like that? Reluctantly, Jada tossed out 2 battered plastic stools. Dad, you're dying soon. You're bringing nothing but death and dark omens with you. I'm not letting you inside. Whatever you have to say it out here. Nathan ushered us inside and hurried off to make tea. Jada sat across from us, visibly annoyed. I already gave you guys money. Why did you still come here? I looked up at her. Can't we just miss you and come see how you're doing? Jada rolled her eyes. A dull ache bloomed in my chest. Growing up, Jada had been such a sweet girl, but ever since she married Nathan, she seemed obsessed with money. Nathan returned with tea and handed me a bank card. Dad, there's $1 million in here. Take it for your medical bills. Before I could lift my hand, Jada snatched the card away. Dad, terminal illness is just a money pit. This $1 million would be much better spent on my spa treatments. Nathan started arguing with Jada. Zoe was trembling with anger too, but I just stared intently at Jada's wrist. I think I finally understood why Mom insisted I give all the money to this ungrateful daughter. The chaotic scene was cut short by a phone call for Nathan. While he was distracted, I discreetly slid my screen in front of Jada. It only had one sentence typed out. Jada, are you being threatened? Jada's eyes widened slightly. When she had reached out to snatch the bank card earlier, her sleeve had slipped, exposing a deep purple bruise on her wrist, a rope burn from being tied up. Instead, Jada burst into loud laughter and carelessly yanked her sleeve all the way up. Dad, are you referring to this? What goes on in the bedroom between my husband and me is none of your business. The implication hit me instantly, and my face burned with embarrassment. All right, you guys should leave. Unless it's about the inheritance, don't bother me again. With a loud slam, the heavy front door was shut right in our faces. Sitting on the bus back to the village, Zoe asked, Henry, are you absolutely sure your mom told you to give everything to Jada? I rubbed my face hard. Suddenly, Suddenly, I slapped my forehead. The first 2 times, I saw Mom's face as clear as day. But this time, I only heard her voice. What if Mom never actually appeared in my dream? What if it was just a regular dream? Zoe immediately pulled out her phone to call Caleb. I finally let out a sigh of relief, but just as I leaned back to rest, something hard pressed against my hip from inside my pocket. I reached in and pulled it out. My face instantly fell. Zoe, maybe Jada really does have her reasons. Zoe waved her hand impatiently. I don't buy it. Whatever it is can wait. But the moment Caleb picked up, Zoe's face turned white. What did you just say? My heart leaped into my throat. What's wrong? Zoe's lips trembled. Caleb's in trouble. I snatched the phone. It wasn't Caleb on the line, but a construction foreman. Your son fell off the scaffolding and broke his neck. He's in the ER. You need to scrape up the medical fees immediately, or he isn't going to make it. A wave of dizziness hit me. I dragged Zoe off the bus immediately, but as soon as my foot hit the pavement, I tripped and cracked my head against the curb. Everything went black. When I finally opened my eyes, I was surrounded by a crowd. Henry, the hospital has been calling non-stop for the medical fees. They need $300,000 for the surgery right now. Zoe pulled at my arm, trying to drag me toward the bank, but I planted my feet, refusing to budge. We can't transfer the money. Why? Zoe's eyes were bloodshot. When I was knocked out just now, Mom appeared in my dream again. This time I saw her face perfectly clear. She said we must give all $5 million to Jada. Not a single cent can go to Caleb. Otherwise, before I could finish, Zoe slammed her fist into my chest. Your son is dying. Who cares about some damn dream? If you hadn't insisted on faking a terminal illness to test the kids, Caleb would never have taken that job. The crowd began whispering. Some good Samaritans started pooling money on the spot, but after a frantic effort, they only managed to raise $150,000. Zoe scraped together her entire life savings, bringing the total to $200,000. Biting her lip, she dialed Nathan's number to beg for a loan, but the line was busy. Zoe turned back to me, her eyes red. Henry, I know you have a secret stash of $100,000. Take that out. It's exactly what we need to save Caleb, and we won't be touching the lottery money. Given the circumstances, this was undoubtedly the best option. I reached into my pocket, but my fingers brushed against the hard object that had poked me earlier. I slapped my forehead. I had completely forgotten about this. I unlocked my phone, and dozens of messages from Jada flooded the screen. Dad, I heard that Caleb is dying. Does that mean your entire inheritance is mine now? Hurry up and transfer all the money to me while you've still got a pulse. I'm going to hire 10 male models to celebrate. Zoe erupted into curses, but my fingers flew across the screen. I immediately transferred the $100,000 I had prepared for Caleb's treatment to Jada instead. Everyone stood frozen in disbelief. Zoe slapped me across the face. Henry Dawson, that money was Caleb's last hope. You're murdering him. I shook my head. Just the opposite. I did this to save him. With that, I pulled the object out of my pocket and held it out to Zoe. The moment she saw what it was, her eyes widened in shock.